dogs. So let's read, folks. This is from... Just kidding. All right, so this is from Yahoo News, which is usually it pulls its news from somewhere. Lara Trump is exposed once again. So, dog rescue charity linked to Lara Trump funneling money into Donald Trump's pocket. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Is this possible? Is it possible? Of course it's possible, folks. A dog rescue charity with links to Lara Trump has spent as much as $1.9 million at former President Donald Trump's properties over the last 7 years, and will drop an additional $250,000 at his Mar-a-Lago country club this weekend. Folks, this fucking weekend.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I accidentally let that. Okay. According to a permit filed with the town of Palm Beach, Florida, Big Dog Ranch Rescue estimates it will spend $225,000 at the club where Donald Trump has taken up full-time residence since leaving the White House. At the profit, all that profit from that spending winds up in his pocket. Internal Revenue Service filings show that the group has spent as much as $1,883,160 on fundraising costs at Mar-a-Lago and Trump's golf course 18 miles north in Jupiter. Jupiter is only 18 miles north of Mar-a-Lago? This is a very interesting development. Starting in 2014, Lara Trump, the wife of Eric Trump, started being listed as a chairwoman for charity events in 2018, and the group's president, Lauren Simmons, visited the White House in 2019 for the signing of a bill addressing animal cruelty. Last Friday night, Simmons issued a statement defending her association with Lara Trump, whom she described as a, quote, great advocate of dogs, and her use of Donald Trump's properties. I love to use Donald Trump's properties.
Unbelievable.
The quality of service, beauty of the venue, and excellent rate provided us as a non-profit, as well as a generosity of supporters who sell out our every event there every year, allows us to rescue and home thousands of dogs. Our investment there and at other venues mentioned in the article has netted more than $12 million over an 8-year period, which allows us to continue our mission. Isn't that interesting? However, she did not respond to the question of why she was putting money into the pocket of someone who tried to overturn the results of an election he lost and whose incitement led to the deaths of 3 police officers and injuries of 140 more. That's certainly interesting. Many businesses have cut their ties to Trump following the deadly January 6th insurrection at the United States Capitol, for which Trump was impeached after he spent 2 months lying about the election having been stolen from him. Trump asked his followers to gather in Washington, D.C. on the day that Congress was meeting to certify the Electoral College votes, and then urged them to march on the Capitol to intimidate his own vice president into violating the Constitution and installing Trump for another term. As dictator, it should say. Simmons, however, was among those propagating Trump's lies on social media, posting messages to, quote, stop the steal, a phrase the defeated president's supporters had adopted. On January 3rd, 3 days before the mob attack, Simmons shared a post stating, either we take power back, or we will never be free again. No more asking nicely. Can we talk about, there is an entire segment of the population. I'm just going to ignore the rest of this article. There is an entire segment of the population. Think about this. Probably 30, 40 million people. Around probably half of those that voted for Trump, right? That, we're going to be, imagine, right? It's the year 2036, right? And you're in a bar somewhere. You're trying to escape the catastrophe of global warming. There's an inferno going on. So you're in a bar, you're getting drunk, right? And some guy sits next to you. You have a conversation. He's got into an argument with his daughter or something, and now he's worried that they hate each other, right? And then 40 minutes into this conversation, right? The guy says, like, just, he's 3 whiskeys deep now, right? And he says to you, if only they didn't steal the election in 2020. Like, this is going to be a thing. Like, this is, like, you have to understand. There are millions and millions, tens of millions of people that are going to go about the rest of their lives thinking that Donald Trump's second term was stolen, right? Like, again, they're like, you have to understand, and they're just going to crop up. Like, they're just going to appear in your life, right? You're going to get a new job. Like, it's going to be 2044. You're going to get a new job. You finally got that promotion. You got transferred to an office. You're living your dream life, right? And so it's like the 4th day, you're riding high, you're on the fumes of, like, you just got that promotion, you're in a new office, right? And then so you're at a meeting, right, with your boss, right? And they just casually mention, if only they didn't steal the election 20 years ago. Right? Now imagine, like, what do you do in that scenario? Who knows, right? But you are going to be in that scenario. Every single one of us is going to have an interaction at some point in our lives. For the rest of our lives, we're going to have an interaction at some point where someone implies the election was stolen. Right? And then there's going to be a point where it becomes like an old conspiracy theory. Like the JFK assassination. There's going to be a point, or like the 9/11 trutherisms. It's been 20 years since 9/11-ish, almost. Right? And there's going to be a point where that becomes like just a thing. That people, like, yeah, there's this group online. They think that the election 20 years ago was stolen. Right? That's just going to be a thing. That's going to be like, and they're going to like all be like racist fucking losers. Right? And they're going to like blame everything that went wrong in their lives on that election, right? It's like, that's what I'm trying. Like, I know that this is a little bit fantastical. Like, at least it seems that way. But you've got tens of millions of people, right? And then these people are going to have kids, right? Now imagine, right? Like, you have a kid, right? And then your kid is in like, let's say your kid is in fucking 8th grade, 9th grade maybe, right? And one of their classmates, like, they're in social studies or history, right? And one of their classmates is just like, raises their hand. My mommy said that Donald Trump won the election, but the history book says that he lost. Can you explain that? Right? And then your kid is going to come home and say, hey, someone in my class said that the election 20 years ago was stolen. What's up? Like, you were alive in 2020, right? What was going on? And then, like, think about this. This is going to happen. Like, I know, right? I'm storytelling here, but like, this is the world that we're going to live in. And again, like, you also have to understand, these people had like 2 months, 3 almost, right? Yeah, about 3. But like really 2 months when it was like at its peak, like of like similar to like drugs. Like, these people were on like hardcore like drugs. Like, think about it. Like, it's like, you're just high as fuck. Like, that's what these people were doing on Facebook, on Parler, on Twitter, all these people in their own like, DM groups, and God forbid what they were saying at the dinner table, right? There are these people that were literally hopped up. They were like, we're going to stop the steal. Yeah, everyone's going to go stop the steal. We're going to, like, for months, these people were like, we're going to kill all demon rats. We're going to stop the goddamn steal, man. Right? And it's going to be, right? And that's the world that they lived in. They lived in a fantasy world for several months of their lives. They literally were in and it's, the whole Q thing, like, people have been living in a fantasy world for years now, right? But, like, this especially is going to, like, have reverberating effects on our society that y'all, and myself included, haven't really fully come to terms with. But, yeah, these people are crazy. And I just wanted to say, like, they are... Who knows? I really don't know. But man, these people are fucking nuts. We're gonna stop the steal. We're gonna stop the steal. That's what we're gonna do. My mommy told me the great Giuliani valiantly fought the Democrats. The great America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani, moments after rubbing his dick on live television in front of a movie that won awards, that movie awards, right? Moments after doing such a thing, said he was gonna have trial by combat and stop the steal. It's just like, what the hell? But no, I just want you to understand that we have to come to grips with the fact that there are several dozens of millions of people in this country that are fucking nuts. Like, they've got no connection to the real world at all. At all.